Hello and welcome to Master the Moment. I'm Joe.
And I'm Christian, and Joe and I are the co-founders of the Culinary Executive Mastermind. And in this podcast, Joe and I are going to share with you our knowledge, our experience, and our expertise to help you to create a better life for yourself, for your family, for your career, and for your business. Two, one.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Master Your Motivation. Oh, wow. I'm so excited and motivated with this one. I can't even start it. Chef, you'll have to take over.
Yeah, motivation is one of those topics we get in quite often because people always ask us, how do you stay motivated? How do I stay motivated? How can I help my team to stay motivated? How can I have my family stay motivated? And, that's really so different. And I'm looking forward to having a conversation with you around that because for me, motivation itself doesn't exist. And I think motivation doesn't last. And it certainly doesn't
Right.
last long term. I think motivation gets you started, but inspiration and the passion and your why keeps you going. So for me, I think my first one, Chef, would be is really finding your why, because deep down, if you have a passion for something, you know what is your why. That what's getting you up, and we have a program and a tool we use, if we call it seven levels deep, which allows you to really kind of hone down what your why is and
Yep.
and use that as the vehicle. And for me, every time I feel like I am that motivated, I kind of come back to what is my why. And when I think about what drives me, which is my family and kids, and provide for them and for them to have choices, that makes it easy. And from then, it's excited to do things. And if I look back and if I really narrow down, I think it's as simple as that. So for me, my first topic or my first takeaway around motivation is really finding your why. How about you, Chef? What is your first one around that?
It's very similar, but what gets me out of bed? Being happy. So I say, what motivates me to be happy? And of course, we have to do things that aren't so much fun, but I
Mm-hmm.
still work around that. I find the passion again in the things I'm doing, and so I again work it around being happy, and being happy is my guiding light through this. And unfortunately, I got a lot of energy, and
Mm-hmm.
as it wears off during the day, but that's definitely one of my start points is finding your happiness.
And for me, that's been really, I think, a great blessing to be able to work with you around that because I haven't seen you yet where you didn't have a great day, and that certainly rubs off on me. Listen, I love that. So let me ask you a question around that. What would you say to one of our listeners which says, okay, it's great. How about if I don't have a good day or something happened to me or somebody did this to me? And they don't have that passion or they don't have that happiness you talk about in the morning. So what would you tell them? How could they kind of overcome that sense of darkness or that cloud around them to kind of put them in that state of happiness?
I'll take it back to being a chef and being an entrepreneur. And yes, the day goes up and down like a roller coaster. So when you find yourself going down, 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 instead of saying, oh my God, this is going to hurt when we hit the ground, instead of doing that, ask a better question. What do I
Mm-hmm.
see out of this? What am I going to learn out of this? How, there, without getting EBGB, a bad situation to me is a lesson. And so I just look at it and say, what's a lesson here? And then
Mm-hmm.
saying, wow, I'm going to be better because we're all better after we come out of something bad.
Yep.
And then guess what? We hop back into what? Happy land. And so again, even if you're driving down going, oh shit, this is going to hurt, I immediately say, what's the lesson? How am I going to better myself? And when you better yourself, you feel better about yourself. When you feel better about yourself, you're happier. When you're happier, then again
Mm-hmm.
comes out the motivation.
Yeah, I love that. About 15 years ago, I did a program And one thing I gotten out of that program is what you just said. I believe as a culture, we're doing a terrible job asking questions.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer if you ask better questions, you get better results. And you and I talk about this a lot. And for me, I love what you said about, kind of putting yourself in that new state and asking better questions. And I also believe there's one question I would like to add on what you just said is really ask that question, what is good about this? So for me, as an example, when I have a bad day, I struggle with that a little bit. Joe, that's really good, putting himself in that happy state. And for me, is I try to look at it. So what can I learn from that? And COVID is a great example. So for me, as COVID happened, and look what it did to our industry. For me, it was really, hey, what is good about COVID and what can I learn out of that? And what Joe and I created here is really what came out of that. So great. I love that, Jeff. So my second one is it's probably multiple, but my second one I would call around staying motivated. So we had talked about happiness, we talked about finding your why.
Right.
And the next thing for me is in order staying motivated, you also need to motivate others. And for
Absolutely.
me, what I learned over the years, it's really hard to give what you don't have. So
Yep.
if you don't have it within you, if you don't find a way to motivate yourself, it's really really hard to motivate your team. And for that, I think you really need to look at how how do I am being every day with my team? How am I being with my family? How am I being with my partner? And really look at it again. You can't give away what you don't have. So for that is really, I believe we hit it right on the nail on the head here. Having your why, having your purpose, finding that stage, asking yourself better questions, and really working on that. I believe motivation is work,
Oh yeah.
and it's a choice. And so for me, I kind of combine all of that. But for me, it's really kind of putting all of this together, and make it a choice. You have a choice to be happy. You have a choice to be motivated.
Yep.
So if I have my why and I have that happiness, I overlay what you have, asking better questions. And I work on myself to give away what I have because at the end of the day, people like to be around people they enjoy being with, which are like them, which they can connect with. And for me, that's probably one of the other big three reasons from my end on how to stay motivated. How about for you, Chef?
You couldn't be more right on. I'm gonna tagline on to that. You gotta love yourself. You're absolutely right. It's like the airplane, if the oxygen comes down, who do you put it
Mm-hmm.
on? Yourself. You got to take care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
especially as a industry leader. People look up to you. Underlining, we're not to have bad days. If I'm in the wrong frame of mind or something is bad, the best thing I can do is get away from others because I'm portraying something that they would say is okay, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do that. But again, being happy and then resignating for leadership, it it comes so easy because you and I make it a lifestyle. And when we make it a lifestyle, yes, we have to work for it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like breathing. We don't have to because it just comes natural. And
Right.
and I think that's the beauty of it. And I would love to portray that to others.
I love.
And
I,
again, you're right. We practice it, we work at it, we're very conscious of it, and by no means are we even
mhm.
perfect about it. But but you're right. We're being attracted by others also.
Yeah,
So
I love that what you said because for me it just kind of drives home that it's a choice and it's everyday
yep,
work. It's not something you do one time and you're good
yep.
at it. It's like going to the gym. Hey, I went to the gym yesterday. I'm fit for the rest of my life. That's not the way it works. You got to do it every day. And for me, what I'm hearing what you said is not just coming from that state is also I believe when you do something you're passionate about and something which drives you, I think that comes natural. I love what you just said. I really resonate with
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And my third um, point around motivation is really be careful who you're around with because there's the saying, and we're using it all the time in our events, that you will become the average of the five people you spend most
yep,
of your time with. So
yep.
if you are like Joe and you have somebody who is that high energy and always go, 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 if you're around somebody whose favorite thing is to watch the game or binge watching Lost, it's really hard to find motivation around that. And I believe if you care about something, that kind of rubs off. So for me,
Sure.
my third point is really be careful who you hang around with and who you listen to, because you will become the average of the five people you spend most of your time with. So now, how do you spend your time? So it doesn't need to be that, if you're a fan of a celebrity or of a motivational speaker or a great writer, you don't need to know that person, live or in person or physical knowing them, but it's knowing about them and reading about them, reading great biographies,
Yep.
reading great work. That can put you in a different state. And for me, I call a lot of those people my mentors, because if I spend with somebody 3-4 hours a day because listening to them, studying them, and learning about them, for me, that's a mentor. So for me, my third one is really be careful who you spend your time with and try to find people which lift you up, because as a human, I believe we like to do more for other people than we do for ourselves. So if you have a great group which supports you, if you have a great group which lifts you up, and a group which is here to support you, I think nothing is impossible. And we say it in our events that if you have a group which is behind you and which has one single purpose, and that purpose
Yep.
is under no circumstances they will allow you to fail, what is possible for you in your life, in your career, in your business, if you know you have that kind of support group. So for me, my third one is be careful and choose very wisely the people you spend most of your time with. How about you? What is your third one, Chef?
I'm going to spin right off of that. And with that brings confidence. And when you're confident, your state of being is what? More happy again. But it highly motivates me because I become, we all ask about our superpowers. And then when I'm so confident, what my superpower is, I'm invincible. When I'm invincible, watch out. And so when you're like that, it brings more motivation to the table. And again, spinning off of the people that you hang around. When I do have maybe a bad day or something's not going or my chemistry's a little bit off, I actually use that and reach out to a chef, a colleague, one of my friends who's going to uplift me, and I actually use that and say, I need to talk to Marianne because I know she's going to throw a spin and go, hello, Joe, how's it going? And that will be my little second little charge. And again, I go, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's like, refueling yourself. So you're absolutely right about the people you hang with, and also like-minded people. We've got so many people that if we struggle, like if I struggle with a situation with our business, I know I can call Charlie, and Charlie will say, I went through the same thing, blah blah blah. Here it is, and then all of a sudden you get
Mm-hmm.
motivated because you don't get down. You get in a good state of saying, again, I'm
Yep.
confident I can do this. So confidence lays really extremely important to me for motivation. And I'm telling you, and I'll tell it to the world and I'll tell it to the air, I have become much more confident with a partnership of you. And I just can't thank you enough. I'll thank you right here on the air. And people say thanks, Chef, because Joe used to be motivated, but now he's so motivated, I'm a little out of control.
And I appreciate it. But for me, what really there was something you said which really resonated with me, and that's around my friends. And I look at my friends differently, because I have friends I know which will lift me up. I
Yep,
have a group of friends which I know which hold me accountable. I
yep,
have a group of my friends which support me in other ways.
yeah,
And I made a choice a few years ago, very consciously, not kind of group my friends in that way, but if I need somebody or if I need a certain support, I know exactly who to call. So that
yep,
really resonated with me. So let's recap from my end. So my three were really finding your why, kind of going deep and really looking at what drives you. Because if you have a really strong enough why, it will get you going. Again, motivation starts or gets you going,
Yep.
but inspiration and a great why keeps you going. My second one was really around working on you, because you can't be something or you can't give something away if you don't have it yourself. And my third one is be really careful who you spend most of your time to and who you listen to. How about you three, Joe?
Again, finding clarity. First
Mm-hmm.
one, clarity of who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you happy. Second one, again, the attraction of others, and then
Mm-hmm.
having the energy off of them and spinning off and then putting you in a good state. Last but not least, okay, you have to be the best version of what you want. And
Absolutely.
again, once you're the best version, everything comes in line. It's like stars lining up, and you have the guiding path of where you
Mm-hmm.
want to go. Again, comes with confidence. Best version of you, being confident, and that's our secret sauce for motivation.
Great. I appreciate you guys being on with us tonight, talking a little bit about motivation, how Joe and I handle it. If you would like to know more what we do, Joe and I are the co-founders of the Culinary Executive Mastermind. You can find us on our website at culinarymastermind.com. We have monthly programs we do, and we have people which part of our events. And the greatest thing about the event is what we just talked about. You have a group of like-minded people which are driven, which are there to support, which are willing to share anything they have learned over the years, which
Yep.
are tools, strategy, techniques, which help them to get to the next level. So if you become part of our groups, of our mastermind, you will see, you will have access to that group. And as always, we know this is not for everybody. And now where you know about a mastermind, I believe you have a responsibility to search them out. You need to join a mastermind. If you want to get to the next level, if you want to stay motivated, all of the things we talk about, or our last event where we spoke about time management, you need to become of a mastermind. And a mastermind is the single largest contributor to my success over the years. And I know it has for you, Chef Joe.
Yep.
So please, if it's not our mastermind, join any other ones. I think your future self will thank you for it. With that, I want to say thank you for being part of our podcast today. Any closing words from you, Chef Joe?
Again, I just want to thank all our listeners, and I'm going to leave you with make it happen.